I'm looking for Snake.
Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Hello everybody and welcome to Primetime Mitch, and today I am joined by fellow creator JB in the studio, and we are going to be watching
Escape from New York,
the 1981 classic by John Carpenter starring Kurt Russell. Let's get right into it, can't wait for this.
I'll tell you something though, do you know with these films, whenever they do the director's commentary between John Carpenter and say Kurt Russell is his favourite one to do it with, they sit down with a bottle of Jack and get slaughtered.
Why not?
Honestly, if you sit and watch any of the commentaries with like Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing, this, you listen to the pair of them, and as the directory goes on, the commentary goes on,
Gradually
they
more
actually get more and more blasted.
Brilliant.
It's awesome. Mate, this theme tune is iconic. Oh my gosh, I've got it as a ringtone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's strange seeing a film with Deborah Hill production that isn't Halloween.
What's odd as well is when she first got started, she was just an assistant, still working with them. If you have a look at the credits for Dark Star, she's not like a production assistant. So she worked her way up fast, man, because they were mates. 𝐒𝐿, that's like the second hardest thing you can say as a human being.
So when were you first introduced to this film?
Oh, good question. I was a teenager and it was on telly, so I must have been about 14. So this is years ago. And it was on late at night, and luckily everybody had gone to bed, and I was like, I'm going to sit up and put this on, and I sat and watched it. I watched the whole damn thing, and at the time I'd taken up smoking, so I'd nip out for a quick fag, and then come back in again. Oh my god, it was just, I couldn't get over the atmosphere in this film. As you're sitting there, the DOP, 𝐂𝐄𝐑𝐄, absolute lord. Whenever you're watching any of his films, DOP's in charge of the lighting, production designer 𝐂𝐿𝐻𝐆 made this thing look incredible. And whenever you're watching these guys putting films together, and they're sitting in the meetings before it and they're going, right, how are we going to make this? They already understand John Carpenter's shorthand for how he wants his films to look. It's automatic, the lighting settings are this, and then John just fiddles with it a little bit. So that by the time I was sat watching, I'd never seen anything like this before, atmospherically. His films just have an atmosphere, it's like nothing else. But how about you, when did you first see this?
I was about 19, and that's the last time I saw it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh mate, you're in for a treat. To be fair, when you're looking at the script, this is actually the best written bit of the script. It's the way they talk you through how to write a sequence like this.
It completely surrounds Manhattan Island. All bridges and waterways are mined. The United States police force, like an army, is encamped around the island.
Do you think there's inspiration for The Purge in this?
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, actually I hadn't thought about that before, but that's a brilliant idea. I'm trying to remember if the lady who voices that is Deborah Hill. The producer, I know it was somebody specific to them in the team and why she voiced it. Whereas obviously in Escape from LA it's I forgot the name of the actress now, who's the security guard in it, like the...
It's just as long since I saw that one.
Well, yeah, not as... It was basically a rehash of this.
Mm.
So now what I'm trying to work out is that the actual New York skyline and these guys have just put like something in front of a cinema screen, or is that a matte painting?
When I look at it like that, and the way that the light sort of hovers over the buildings,
Yeah.
I tend to suggest they've fiddled with that. I don't think it's as...
Because I think that's a real shot.
Yeah, that definitely is.
I think that's New York in the background. So the thing is, they're working with no budget and no CGI. And yet that opening graphic sequence was amazing for the time.
Yeah.
But if you imagine as well, the time during the 80s when obviously poverty was really high, gang stuff was really high, traipsing across from the 70s in Vietnam. In the US, a film like this coming out would have been a midnight showing film, and people would have been going to watch it and just going, oh, dystopian stuff, man, got really dark in the 80s, and it all became like Running Man was another one.
Yeah.
Where it's sitting there going, right, it's society's fault, so we're just going to punish society, which leads back nicely to The Purge, actually.
Some beautiful shots in this.
Oh, stunning shots.
It's just like a series of paintings, isn't it, sometimes?
That's got to be a matte painting. It has to be.
But it works.
Very works.
And it actually brings out that dystopian feeling, doesn't it? Ah, what a man. That is a model, dude. Tom, honestly.
Tom Atkins, that's it. He's a lovely
Halloween 3
Halloween
star.
3, yeah. He was in the fog as well.
He was.
That's another goddamn Carpenter classic, that is.
He's worked to a very old age, so I can.
Was it?
Yeah.
Good man. Heavily written. They went for it with the action directions, with getting him on set. They're like, Snake Plissken steps off the bus, looks cool as shit, leather jacket, found his trousers looking like this. He doesn't give a shit about this place. They went for it.
They don't over dramatise him stepping off though.
No, they don't.
There's none of that floor shot,
No.
and the boots coming down and then they're looking up.
You now have the option to terminate and be cremated on the premise.
Now in the script it says all these guys staring and sitting there going, oh, another victim coming through. But here it clearly looks like they're all smirking at him, just going, "How we caught you, badass." So I get a different impression from that. Look at him, look at 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐁'𝐿. Literally chiselled out of marble and bad drinking habits. See, as soon as that moment happens in the film, everything ramps up. Up to that point, you're like, yeah, I don't care. It's all a bit futury, a bit dark. Then it's like, oh, right, the Pleasence on that plane. Now there's impetus. Because the powers that be, even if you didn't care, even if the people there didn't care, the powers that be care.
Yeah.
Of the National Liberation Front of America, in the name of the workers and all the oppressed of this imperialist country.
See, she says it's imperialist, but nobody ever talks about the actual politics of the president in this. What he's pro and anti. They just basically go, he's an imperialist Nazi. We don't know what he's like.
No, they don't.
And they never talk about his politics in this film, ever. They just call him an imperialist the whole time. That's it. And apparently he's trying to do something about nuclear power. But even then he doesn't talk about it in any way whatsoever. He's just a robot. He just walks off.
Maybe that's what they wanted to leave to your imagination. Maybe make up your own mind up.
Well, normally the presidents in films reflect the presidents of the current time. So this would have been
81 would have been.
Jimmy Carter?
Potentially.
Wasn't
If you get that
Reagan.
wrong, put it in the comments.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Because it was before Reagan, but it was definitely of a time where they just sort of thought, nah. But Donald Pleasence, man, another lord.
Oh, he's royal. He is royalty.
He's royalty. He's Carpenter, mega royalty. He's like the Queen Mum for Carpenter.
I can't get enough of watching Donald Pleasence movies because even if it's not a great movie, it's worth watching for him, and
Yeah.
that's a real trait for an actor.
Yeah. So it's phenomenal, this work amongst these models. All built model settings, the little tiny cityscapes, but the camera running through that, man, it looked real. I'm not too sure as well, but wasn't this one of the first times that they started creating like a futuristic dystopian estate where all the soldiers dressed in black? Because up to that point in the 80s, they're always sort of dressed in that nasty khaki green.
Yeah.
But in this, they still seem to be dressed in black. But I'm trying to work out if they're soldiers or if they're prison guards.
There's always some form of foot soldier in there.
Got a foot soldier, mate. Foot soldier's what makes films fun. My favourite is Master of the Universe. How about you?
As in,
Foot soldiers. I thought Master of the Universe foot soldiers looked epic.
well, I always remember the ones from the Turtles.
Oh, the foot
They used to
soldier.
just get
Actual
battered.
foot.
Yeah. They just used to send them all out to get knocked down like Skittles, you know. And it was. I just reviewed the Cassandra Crossing, and they had these guys on board who were like medics, but they had guns, and they were like, you know, trying to keep the virus in the train, and they just look like white foot soldiers, just all getting shot down one by one.
Oh, I love it.
Foot soldiers don't have a face.
Yeah. See, once again, these guys just run across the studio a lot, and it's matte painting in the background. I mean, that's probably a real street, but the one with the helicopter was just looked like a matte painting. That's quite impressive.
You've had a lot of movies since that have gone the artistic route, like Sin City and things like that, have done similar things. And I think, you know, it owes a lot to these kind of films.
I'll tell you what this film still gives people permission, filmmakers, to do now. Bear this in mind, all you guys are starting out early on this stuff. Look around for your locations, man. If you haven't got a locations crew, go looking. You'll find places that look this bombed out and knackered. And honestly, as long as you don't interrupt anything and as long as you're safe, you could do worse and try and get a bit of filming done in locations like that. This film gave you permission to go, let's shoot in rough areas. This way we can make it look futuristic or bombed out or something like that. Or horror movies. Locations so important.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. You go have a look around. I shot an entire feature on my own in the hills of Derbyshire. On my own. Nobody was bothered. It just went out and did
Usually
it.
get films made about things like that.
Yeah, exactly. He certainly knows how to create a weird character. I'll give him that. Weirdo is one of the weirdest characters I've ever seen. Such a good look.
Touch me, he dies. If you're not in the air in 30 seconds, he dies. You come come back in, he dies.
He delivers the entire speech without blinking,
20 seconds.
with smoke and steam in his face.
19. 18.
What do you want?
17.
I mean, seriously, that's bonfire smoke. He must be in so much pain. That was amazing.
They don't want anything yet. By the time they figure out what they want, it'll be too late. Tell them I have to go with your plan now.
Also, how badass is 𝐒𝐕𝐁'𝐿? He's wearing like some kind of wristband with like spikes of metal on it.
The goth. Steampunk.
Steampunk. Maybe he just thought that looked cool.
I've got a few of them actually, spiked cuffs. I'm just not allowed to wear them anywhere.
Thank God I thought you were talking about the gun that 𝐒𝐕𝐁'𝐿 was handling there. So he got a couple of guns of it. Then he put some glasses that really don't suit him. Take them off, Lee. That takes balls, doesn't it? Take another man's cigarettes.
Don't mind if I do.
Just help yourself. The ironic thing at the time is people think that Kurt Russell was putting on this voice for Snake Plissken. He wasn't. He had, I think it was tonsillitis. He had like a really major.
Feel that.
He had like a major throat infection, so he had to speak like that, and it was agony for him apparently. Smoking a cigarette and everything was
Jesus,
awful.
yeah.
That's why you barely see any smoke coming out because he's barely dragging on it. Kurt Russell was one of about 3 people on the planet who could master a mullet.
You can master anything.
Well, yeah, he could, but it's just.
Well, yeah, there's not
in terms
many
of the
that
80s,
can.
there weren't many that could master a mullet, and it was him, Mel Gibson.
I know. See, it's really it's frustrating, really, because you know they had like Kurt Russell and we had Pat Sharp.
Yeah, he didn't really master it.
No, that's what I mean. We get the bargain basement.
Yeah, we done right. And then it was a tight battle between Kiefer Sutherland and Corey Feldman.
Oh, Kiefer Sutherland did it.
Yeah. But his was like a thin man's mullet.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be wide at the
Straight
sides,
up,
had to be
yeah.
straight up, yeah. Kevin Bacon.
That idea you had about turning the Gulf Fire around 180 degrees and flying on to Canada. What did you do to me, asshole? My idea was...
Oh, another cool story. Kurt Russell thought the eye patch would make his character look cool. Then on day 1 of filming, he was like, I can't see anything with this thing on. He said the rest of filming, he was permanently looking around, kept walking into stuff. It completely threw his depth of perception out. It's one of the worst decisions he's ever made about a character. Yeah. Well, pre this, he was a Disney boy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I can't believe that. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was a Disney boy, and nobody would touch him for this role. When Deborah Hill and the others went looking for money for this, they said, who's going to be your lead guy? And they said, Kurt Russell. And they were like, no. And they started suggesting some other crazy options. But Carpenter was like, no, I want him, he'll be brilliant, and plus he's cheap, because he wants to get away from being Disney. So, of course, put him in this.
I think you better go in with people like that sometimes because they're that desperate to get away from the typecast they're becoming that they give a balls to the wall performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
21 hours.
Suppose he's dead. If I come back without him, you burn these things out.
Get them both back, Plissken. Remember, once you're inside, you're on your own.
Funny thing is, the bloke in the background of that scene was the vice president, but they never mention it. It's in the script, and the guy had loads to say and everything. The vice president, and yet doesn't get a look in. Probably says a couple of lines, that's it.
Tracer test confirmed at 20 hours, 17 minutes, 30 seconds.
I'll tell you what though, clever move, brightening up that scene where he's in the cockpit. If he just shot that under ordinary light, it would look quite dull. Throwing a big old green light through on it, quite a smart move that, makes it look cool. And then red from behind, just makes it look sick.
Yeah, the red border on him is great.
Yeah.
Target blip.
Of course.
See, some poor sod had to sit down and do all that in. I think that's an actual shot of New York, and then it's just got a glider flying in front of like a cinema screen.
I mean, it is shot at night, but it looks more like very, very early morning. Like a 3 or 4 o'clock, something where it's sort of slightly turning.
Yeah. Well, at no point in this film do you see I don't think you see a clock in terms of time.
there's
all you have is his watch.
Yeah.
the bright side, I think that was a model, and probably only about 5 feet long.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, no, I'm done on that. Thanks very much. How's he going to get out? He's at
I was
the
going to
front.
say, you won't want to get out of that, would
How's he going
you?
to get out? He's at the front. No.
Oh, he managed it.
He's just strolling across the roof. What a lord.
Must have been some like thing underneath.
Or knocks he got in the top of it.
Listen, Leonardo DiCaprio got out via the toilets on Catch Me If You Can. Let's not forget that one.
Alright, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Good old movie physics there.
It's a good shot.
Yeah. It's a nice touch, and he's never aware, and it
Lovely
happens a
little sound
bunch of
effects
times.
as well, that.
Yeah. Bit of music, and he's throwing in the music to sit and go, right guys, he's in a different world now. You know, scary stuff's going to happen. No way. Apparently Snake Plissken is a real person. Yeah, apparently. It was a guy that Carpenter knew who was a friend of a friend who was like a high school tough guy.
Yeah, he sounds like a high school tough guy.
He was called Snake Plissken, and he had an actual tattoo of a snake on his belly.
Brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't have an eye patch though.
No, or a cool leather vest. Probably couldn't master a mullet either.
No, or a 5 o'clock shadow.
No. I love that gun, man. I mean, if that's an Uzi, it's got the silencer from hell on it. Because the silencer's twice the
I don't
size
know
of
why
the
you
gun.
need a bloody silencer there.
Well, exactly. Why give him an Uzi with a silencer? I mean, don't give him a sniper
It's
rifle.
not,
Don't give
like
him
you've
an
got to worry about the
M16.
police hearing it, is it?
It's like, he doesn't want to get caught. It's like, well, he'll get eaten more than caught.
It's not just criminals, it's like a lot of vagrants there, isn't there, as well?
Yeah. I think there's some people that didn't want to leave New York. It's their home. You look at 𝐂𝐈𝐊𝐿. There's no mention of what crime anyone's committed.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like they're all just there. So it's assumed they're criminals, but you don't know. They could be. I mean, under this president's, this is why we don't find out some of the president's politics. Some of them could be that. It could be how he handles mental illness or disability. Throws them all in there. We don't know. Could have been the disabled people if they've been thrown in there. Anybody with disabilities have probably all been eaten by now.
This is unusual.
It's. I'm trying to work out if it's really genre groundbreaking, or you know, in terms of like, why have a bunch of guys in there dress up in women's clothes to put on a show? If they're actors, what they do in there? If they're prisoners,
Failed
what
actors.
they do in there? Failed actors. If they're mad people, is that why they're there? It's sort of I think it's a world that's been created for them to walk through rather than a world that needs full explaining.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes in filmmaking, which I have no problem with, is I've just created this world for the sake of creating this world. Forget the questions, I just want it to look like this and feel
make a
like
video
this.
game of this, because they should have done.
That would have been top. Done a sandbox, but just of New York. It's a fact, he's not even bothered. He's like, whatever, not my problem.
Well, they won't. They're not even bothered about him walking past
No,
them with
they're
a
not.
fucking great gun like that. Are they?
No, they're not. I assume one of the few things that is rife there is some form of drugs.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's in so many things.
Ah, great voice.
I'm walking. I'm walking.
So that's a nice little moment because it just shows how sadistic Snake is. You know, he's happy to watch this guy who's clearly less of a criminal, and he's just sort of watches him leave. He's like, yeah, go on, do one.
Sure, I'm the president. I knew when I got this thing, I'd be president.
He's fantastic and They Live. He's like one of the turncoat humans who gives in to the aliens, man. Just brilliant. There must have been some easy filming for these bits, like we're just going to shoot Snake walking.
Yeah, because the scene's really all about the look of it and the
Yeah.
aesthetics, is it? It's,
Yeah. It's full investment in the world. He's essentially walking around without a clue. We don't know how well he knows New York. But he stumbled upon the pod. So at this point, you're just sitting there going, all right, fair enough. It's a pretty tough place to be. We've already been told several times that a whole bunch of cannibalism goes on. Rape's clearly going on a daily basis. Everybody's off their faces. It's not a great place to be. Then you can still argue that for that time, for it being that's what New York's like at that time.
Yeah, they just exaggerate it.
Yeah. But this moment with the sewer people takes the film to another level. Because now you're like, what? It's like, have they evolved? Have they de-evolved? Who the hell's down there? They've got the whole island to themselves. And this guy's running around banging things. You're like, all right, he's nuts. And then up comes the first sewer plate.
That's the thing about New York. It's not all surface. I mean, there's so much going on underneath it. I mean, their sewer system's outrageous.
Well, it does make you sit there and wonder, well, what about their tube system? All the underground stations?
Yeah.
So that must be where they're populated and all living. So, of course, it makes sense. See, now if Snake's backing off and seeing that, he's like, oh yeah, screw this, I'm off.
Their sewer system's not like ours. Ours is like really compact and you probably can't go down there. But there, it's like a whole...
Oh, it's a whole set of tunnels and everything. I mean, the closest we've got to it is our tube stations. But... And then what's ironic is he's running along the wall, he's got a gun, but he's not getting swarmed. And also, interestingly, if you can listen to the sound effects in the background, I swear he's stolen that off Alien. That same high-pitched scree sound for something coming.
When did Alien come out? When did Alien?
79.
79.
Yeah.
I think is though, you walk around like that in that town, you blend in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're sitting there going like some badass with a gun. If you're walking around looking like Nora Batty out of Last of the Summer Wine, you're gonna get mobbed, aren't you?
Hey, this is a real one. You just get in?
Yeah, and then she shoves it in her pocket, sneaky cow.
Speaking of mullets.
Oh, that's one that went wrong.
Straight after dark, I'm stuck here all night.
Plane crashed 7 hours ago near 8th Avenue. Did you see it?
No.
Of all the answers he could have given, I'm an arsehole is fantastic.
I heard you were dead.
It just fit right in here.
Yeah, now he's stuffed. See, they ignore him when he's waving the gun, so he starts firing bullets, they come a-running.
Bit like GTA, you run around with a rifle in your hand, as soon as you fire a shot, boom.
Everybody comes running.
You sir, come with me.
Yeah, it's like... You got to give Kurt Russell fair dues, man. He had a lot of stunts to do in this. Nice. And cheap. Loved it. Do you know what's funny as well? If you watch, this is for people who've got the DVD or the Blu-ray, if you watch the deleted scenes, there is a deleted scene that's the start to this film, where he gets arrested at the start and he's running around, still got his eye patch on. But people haven't alluded to, that was the job where supposedly Brain double-crossed him.
Where you going, buddy?
Man, they were lucky to get Ernest Borgnine at the time, man. He was a big deal. This was after Poseidon Adventure and Wild Bunch. Yeah.
That's one thing we don't talk about regarding Kurt Russell.
Yeah, what Poseidon?
Big grin.
Oh, he's such a character, such a big personality.
I want to meet this Duke.
You can't meet the Duke. Are you crazy? Nobody gets to meet the Duke.
I mean, he's putting full effort into this performance, man. He's really putting it in. He's genuinely scared. He's genuinely a little bit nuts. And he's trying to be nice and supportive. And he's just, Borgnine's fantastic in this film. Yeah, isn't that the library where they did Ghostbusters 2?
That's worth looking up.
Yeah, I think that's the library where they shot Ghostbusters 2. I recognise the steps.
It's okay, Snake. It's a better neighborhood. You can relax.
It's a better neighbourhood. There's no one in it. And that's how they define a good neighbourhood. There's just nobody living here.
It's me.
Adrienne Barbeau.
That's the one.
Oh, she's just fantastic. What's really annoying about her character is she's the only female in the whole film of any semblance of decent character, apart from the freedom fighter at the start. And she's got so much presence and such like. I mean, look at her carrying that torch around the library. Doesn't give a monkeys about the books.
No.
Doesn't give a monkeys about saying anything like. All she cares about is lighting the place. And it's obvious she's more than just brain squeeze. She's his defence. She's the gatekeeper. And I can't imagine Duke being able to gift her. So she's obviously there thinking this is an
There's
easier
something
gig.
like very noble about.
Yeah.
It's a Statue of Liberty almost, isn't she? With the
That's
fire,
a really
yeah.
good. Yeah, I love that. And the fact that it's almost like her good looks are the least of her talents. It's like you can tell a mile off. She's tough. She's ballsy. She's smart. And you just really wish she'd had some kind of arc or something.
You want to see him sprayed all over that map, baby? Where's the president? What I got, Snake? I don't know.
Just nice as well.
I'll say one thing in this as well. You know,
Take you out of here.
if this was made now,
Jet glider.
whoever played Snake
Yeah.
would be built like a brick shit house.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he's not massive.
No.
He's in decent shape, but he's not
Yeah.
massive. Now he would have to be bulging,
Absolutely hench.
like Dwayne Johnson's style, you know. And I think that I like the more believable
Yes.
rebel than that.
Yes. Yeah. Because I know for years they've been talking about remaking Escape from New York, and the closest they got to it was Robert Rodriguez directing and Gerard Butler as Snake, which, depending on how you look at it, isn't terrible casting. If you watch Den of Thieves, Gerard Butler in that is about as close as you're going to get to Snake Plissken as an actor trying.
Gerard Butler's a good actor. I
He's an
would
okay
trust him
actor.
to. I would trust him to put on to play a role like this.
Yeah, I've never understood why remake great films, remake terrible ones, man.
Yeah, I've
Make
always said that.
those.
Try and improve ones that weren't that good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why we always say the original's better all the time. I don't want
Yeah.
to say that.
Yeah, well, that's where the sayings come from, because of that. What I love in this scene is watching Ernest Borgnine. Barely says everything, but makes himself part of the scene by not doing anything until he has to speak.
He feels important. You can
Yeah.
see his character feels important with these three. You know,
chest
it's
is
like, I'm
puffed
part of
out.
this, you know.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But each of them gives each other room to breathe. And when you're directing actors, man, that's so important. Give your guys room to breathe. Don't have one leading all the way. It's important.
Everybody knows that.
That's a cracking scene to watch for any director.
Look at
It's,
that.
oh no, it's fantastic, though, isn't it?
He's looking for you, Brain.
What does he want? What's my diagram of the bridge?
The Duke.
Finds out I'm with
The
you.
Duke.
I think he's
Iconic, man.
inspired by John Wayne by any chance.
Yeah, but then there's an irony to that, because
Just calm down.
John Wayne was sort of known for not being the most accepting of other cultures. So to have
Yeah,
an African American guy
yeah.
model himself on John Wayne,
That's actually a brilliant irony. I really hope that's what they were doing with that.
that would have been fantastic. Plus, I'm not sure if John Wayne was still alive at this point, because he did True Grit and he got cancer.
Yeah.
And he passed, and I don't know if it was about this time, so that would have been so many different meta-irony levels to the character of the Duke. We could be reading too much into it. He just literally just went, "It's the Duke," you know.
So I'm just thinking because he's dressed in the cowboy gear and the jeans. I just it crossed my mind, not so.
Yeah, no, I like it. You could also argue with the chandeliers on the front. He sees himself as royalty, so that does also bounce back in the other direction.
Yeah.
But either way, cracking protagonist, really great iconic character. Your bad guys have got to be iconic, man. Have to be. You know, too subtle and it's like,
Well, they have to because it's got to be a triumph to overcome them.
yeah, absolutely, a real challenge. That.
Oh.
Do you reckon they just hang around all evening just waiting?
Yeah, just waiting for
stuff?
traffic.
There's something to do. So what are we doing tonight? I'm going to go down Broadway, just throw bricks at passing vehicles. And how do they tell the difference between any other car and the Duke's? And if every car has fuel in it that belongs to the Dukes, they're the only one who can afford fuel, why are they attacking the one guy who can kill all of them? It just adds to the lunacy of who these people are.
I always think this part of the film would have been a fabulous sort of ride at Universal Studios.
Oh.
Imagine them all smashing the car as you're going past.
Oh, either that or just have some really excellent music in the background, like YMCA or something, just to completely change the mood. So you sit there going, what am I watching? See, in the script he doesn't turn around, but it's a clever idea, because he's I'm going to use the back of the car rather than the front of the car to plough through.
Yeah.
Which means that the front is protected. That's
So the windshield
idea.
doesn't get put in.
Yeah. Took some stones to pull off that move. And then they stop. So there's got to be something beyond that. They're like, no, that's our limit. So was the wall set up to stop people, or was it to go, that's the end of your territory?
Yeah.
That's your boundary line. You'd need a TV show just to explain the rules of this place. That would make a great TV show.
Oh, they could do a series on this.
How the prison got made. God, you could do the first season on that and then have the finale with the plane crashing. And then season 2 could be Snake Plissken. I mean, oh my lord.
I know, and they want to do a TV series on Halloween, and they've got this Carpenter film here that would have been way better.
Yeah. By the way, I've copyrighted that TV idea, so nobody rob it. It's on camera.
You heard it here.
Yeah, it's on camera. Matter of fact, I'm going to shout. I'm a writer. Give me a shout. I'll write the pilot.
I do date these videos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so. The fires look like flares to a certain degree, don't they?
Really bright, reddy orange, aren't they?
Do you reckon they've emphasised that in the edit?
I think they have.
Colourist is.
It's like a hell.
Yeah. There's a lot of this colour going on throughout fire and red. So that hell comparisons. Yeah, well spotted, man.
What are you looking at?
Shot. Absolute shot.
We were from the outside.
Didn't even scream, just went,
Who are you? Looks at me. I've got to move fast. Move fast? You goddamn right. I'll move fast. Quiet.
Still trying to work out what that sound is.
I'll tell you what, John Carpenter didn't have make Donald Pleasence do a lot of physical shit.
He did, didn't he? You can see him sitting there going, I just want an ice cream, just sit and chill, bring me a latte. Carpenter's like, nah, come on, let's do some running. I love the way some dude's got the present by the throat like that. I don't think he's much of a threat, lads.
The weird, he reminds me of like a Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yes.
He's just like that impish little pain in the arse.
Very Shakespearean. Look at that. I love that. He's doing the pointing.
Yeah.
I
played him in school on stage, and I had to dress like that.
Did you?
Yeah, very a lot greener.
I've heard of you.
Is it bloody South Park as chef?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I'm not going to stop hearing that now. I don't know why I didn't know that. Then again, I suppose it has been a while since I've watched this.
So. Sitting there going, suck on my chocolate salty balls.
No way to ruin a character.
Now just see Chef as the bad guy.
Hello there, Plissken.
Hello there, Plissken. Frank Doubleday plays Weirdo there. The character's name is Weirdo in the script, but in this it's Romero.
So it's
George Romero because he looks like a zombie.
Yeah. I like that.
Find out something every day.
Maybe it was early morning.
Maybe it was. I think the thing is to keep up with the time. I think when he gets knocked out, he's got about 12.5 hours left on his clock.
It's got a bit of Warriors about this as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, Warriors was so influential, man. It was such a great movie.
Cheerleaders.
I was just saying, the extras have been told every time he shoots a gun, cheer.
Yeah. This is a bit I remember from when I first watched it.
Yeah. And in the script it says, we now find out why he's called Snake Plissken. and the snake starts in his belly. The tail goes all the way down to, well, you can guess where it ends.
Yeah.
Aha! And those are the exact words in the script. Check out my blog if you want to read it.
You are Duke of New York. You're a number 1.
I can't hear you.
You are the Duke of New York. You're a number 1.
See, he looked better in the light, in the dark light,
Yes.
with the neon shining on him.
It worked better. In fact, it's a giant suitcase for one cassette. Oh, and there was some paperwork, wasn't there?
Yeah. They're all dressed very sort of like biblically. I've noticed it's.
There's so many bad movies like Steel Dawn that came out.
Seen that.
Oh, Patrick Swayze, yeah.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, it's awesome. Which is why they were happy to fund number 3, even though George Miller still ran that, and it's still considered the least.
By the way, that was a great shot. Then the buildings so all damaged and in disrepair.
Yes.
It'd be easy just to shoot New York from a park and have it as that, but the buildings look really never lived in, never looked after for years.
Locations team, man, just shot a blinder on this one. Just everything they picked out looked phenomenal. To be honest, half these guys look like they're from the cast of The Warriors. Yeah.
That's the chief from Halloween, isn't it? The sheriff, Brackett.
Is it?
I swear it was. I might be wrong. I'm usually quite good at that, but I only saw him briefly and didn't get a chance to. I feel like it is.
2 hours, that's interesting. It only says an hour and a half when Snake wakes up in the script, so they've given him a bit more time in this.
They tried to sort of reel it up a bit.
Yeah.
Give him a bit of leeway.
Yeah. Some of those extras in the background dressed almost like either inmates or Vietnam soldiers. How very interesting. This is actually more statement going on with the extras and how they're dressed in the background about the current state of society than the actual film was doing anyway.
Like an ECW show at Philadelphia, this.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
That guy was a pro wrestler apparently as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not 𝐕𝐁'𝐈𝐿𝐄𝐿, is it? Something like that. Jesus. It's not a wrestling match then.
No. It is actually, no, you're absolutely right. It's like gladiatorial combat.
Yeah.
Here are the weapons, here's what you've got to deal with. But they put it in a wrestling ring because it's Madison Square Garden, isn't it? Where they'd have the boxing.
Is. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably where they shot some of the Rockies.
Yeah. That's got a big wrestling history, Madison Square Garden.
Mr. President?
Oh my God.
The wig's fantastic. I think Romero's a better name than Weirdo, actually.
It's more in keeping with that imp kind of thing I was thinking of, like the Shakespearean sort of. Because he's quite flamboyant like that, and he's sort of.
And the zombie connection's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, the facial makeup.
That's interesting because there was one action direction in the script that said that Maggie wasn't handy with a gun. And yet in that scene she was very handy. So it's interesting what they decide upon when it actually comes to production between shooting from the script and shooting the actual film.
Well, you couldn't do a quick 1-2 like that if you weren't handy with a gun.
No, if you're a damn good shot. And the funny thing is, it had a scope on it for targeting, but you'd be up like that, so pretty useless. Now we're talking.
Jesus.
Now we're talking.
A shield.
Yeah.
Look at trash can lid as a shield.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Genius. And yet the whole time, Snake's sitting there just going, ugh, fine.
Look at the blood that's already on the thing from previous ones.
Spattered everywhere. Nowadays they're shooting this, they'd have to throw in some Krav Maga and some backflips and all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
They couldn't just get away with just hitting each other constantly. Yeah, that is tense.
Some great sound in this as well.
Yeah, great sound effects. Nice shots.
There's not a gratuitous amount of blood either there, considering
No.
what he just did, but I mean, I guess it really wouldn't be. I think when we talk about like the way they do things now, I think they do a lot of things just because they can.
Yes, yeah,
You know.
I think so. I think there is a big argument in film and storytelling. Just write an experience. You don't have to. Sometimes things shouldn't have to make sense. You know, there's nothing wrong with just going, this is the situation, and these are these people just trying to survive through it.
Yeah.
It makes great horror. It makes great sci-fi. It makes great thrillers. Makes great drama. So.
The only time I want things to make sense is if it actually matters.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
In something
yeah.
like this, I watch it for what it is.
Yes, you watch it for the look of it, you watch it for the sequences, for the cool performances, for the one-liners. I'm not expecting American Beauty, Life of Pi, I'm not expecting that from this film. I'm expecting to sit and have a beer and just go, this was cool, man. And to be honest, with great horror and great sci-fi, you can't make them for everybody. You make them for a certain crowd, and then they really work because they apply to that crowd. Try and make it for everybody, it works for nobody.
I think with a situation like this, because it's an unrelatable situation, you don't know how you'd behave in a world like this, or how humans have become and all.
No, absolutely. And this is a completely different ecosystem. See, what's fascinating with this is the clock's counting down. Normally you'd be sitting there going 59 minutes to go. Oh god, that's forever. But in this film you're like, no, he's got tons to do, and then when he gets back, then he's got to get the capsules in his neck done. So the whole time Snake's sitting there going, great. So when that glider gets knocked down, just
He's having a son of a of a time on the leg as well, isn't he?
I mean, that's going to take some resting up, isn't it?
Yeah. There was some Dr. Loomis came out there.
What I love is they open the bonnet up. There's a dude with a crossbow. How did they get
God.
an engine out in that time? And set it up over there working. What was it, 20 minutes? There's no crane. That's a lot of people. Alright, there's a big argument there's a lot of people. They might have done it with that.
They work like ants these days.
See, if there's one person you wanted to turn up now just to carry on being awesome, it's 𝐂𝐈𝐿. It could have been anybody else. They could have robbed one of the cars, but it doesn't have to make sense because that's the right move. Get 𝐂𝐈𝐿 to turn up. That makes it more awesome.
Have you noticed his modified cab as well, with all the cages around the windows, so nobody can
get in, batter it,
great, that.
smash his glass. He's probably got one of the few cars that still has glass in it.
Yeah.
Okay, where is it? Take from the briefcase. Oh, that tape. Here it is. You trying to America? I know.
See, he refers to him as Romero. I think sometimes you can write characters in scripts purely by the emotion. So you see a lot of times people will be putting down angry man, anything like that, where they just want to just go, sorry, I'm just going to write what that character's supposed to be. That's a focused looking man right there. That car's shifting.
I think it wouldn't be easy to drive through this city. That was in the road, and all these obstacles everywhere. I mean, it's just a burst tyre waiting to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. You'd think they would have worked smarter on all of this. There must be an underground train that runs from New York City to go under the river.
They never go to the tube or anything.
There must be that.
81, I don't know.
The system had been up and running a while. Yeah, because they did the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Of course they did, yes.
And they had loads of trains running there. That was in the 70s. So, unless I assume they all got filled in with cement.
I'm quite annoyed I didn't think of that, because I love that.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I'll tell you what, that's a cracking landmine that can blow a car perfectly in half.
In half.
That's quite impressive, that.
Maybe his car was welded together. I mean, he's done a lot of work on it, hasn't he?
It's held together with laces and staples.
If I get blown up, I'll make sure it blows in half so I come out of it fine. He's a driver after all, isn't he? I'm going with that. Oh shit, maybe
But if I've got a passenger in the front, they die.
I'll take it back.
But you try. See, how did that car end up half a car there on its side? That's quite impressive. Oh yeah, of course. Shot. I'll tell you what would have been better than doing a platoon on that. Just bits missing. It would have been gory, man, but it just would have been far more effective. It looked like he just got like sprung on one of them little kiddie trampolines. Sort of jumped and went woo. And then poor Adrienne Barbeau has to drag an element of my entire purpose has gone now. That guy's dead. But cracking actress, she manages to get Maggie one lasting glimpse of something cool.
Yeah, you do see how vulnerable she is now.
Yeah, it's Adrienne Barbeau, man, amazing actress, and she just manages to drag something epic out of not very much. Just brilliant. Look at her. I mean, the only other one I've seen looking like that with Stones is Ellen Ripley.
Yeah, God, she has, because she does look like her, doesn't she?
She looks like her there. Stones and...
Shit.
Ow.
I mean, you don't need to see it.
No,
to
know.
To feel that.
Oh, see, but that's the right level of gore for John Carpenter. That's the right level. That's why I think Brain got off easy.
He's just not equipped for this president, is he?
No, no, he's not. But then neither are these guys. That's their idea of a winch. They're sort of like,
but you know that he is not supposed to be in this environment.
No, no. But then that's interesting that the person who needs saving is a politician. Works entirely for me.
I remember when I first watched this, I was quite interested to see the Duke when he's isolated away from all these these hordes, these masses of backup.
Yeah.
Whether or not he was a match for him. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
So badass that.
Loomis.
I'll tell you, it's amazing. Donald Pleasence,
Yeah.
he's so quiet and everything all the way up to, I said, all sympathetic, and then boom,
loses his marbles.
there we go. That's the Donald we know and love.
None loads of 50 caliber on Isaac Hayes. It was phenomenal. He's finally got a fag off somebody. He's a happy man.
I want to thank you. Anything you want, you just name it. Yes?
We did get you out. A lot of people about it.
I want to thank them. This nation appreciates their sacrifice.
Yeah. Arsehole.
I want to give you a job. We'd make one hell of a team, Snake.
Good evening. Although I shall not be present at this historic summit meeting, I present this in the hope that our great nations may learn to live in peace.
Yes. The president fired. And all that science down the toilet. Which goes to say, never off the guy who's doing your dirty laundry. Or girl.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. An iconic theme tune.
This reminds me of something else. Was this not like what they used for GTA, the early ones, at the beginning when the screens were loading? They had something similar to
God,
this.
it was something similar.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was something similar.
Even early games like Road Rash used to use this kind of music at the start. It's almost like the quiet city morning music, and then see, when you look at the subject matter that follows, it's nothing but a peaceful city morning. Okay, so that was 1981's Escape from New York, and JB, give me your thoughts because you're the guest.
Well, it's a classic. Everybody loves John Carpenter, man. He's popular across the planet. Film students today are copying his methods, the style, everything about it. Kurt Russell being brought up from Disney Kid to action badass. What can I say, man? It's a cult classic. It's a beauty. Please, 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 if you get a chance, watch it.
I think with the time and the Halloween credit, I don't think this one gets enough credit for just
Absolutely.
how important it is it was for future movies, and it's like you said, I mean, that was a bold move by Kurt Russell, which turned out to be probably it was what made him really. Or certainly set him off on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anybody who are big John Carpenter fans, no Escape from New York, no Thing, no Big Trouble in Little China. That's how important this film was in Kurt Russell's career. We wouldn't have had him doing these roles. Nothing else beyond that. Tango and Cash, Tequila, Sunrise. Hell, for those of you like Fast and the Furious or Guardians of the Galaxy, man, this film changed his career. So important. And for science fiction as well, dystopian. It started the 80s, man. So many films came after this. Blade Runner, for one of many.
And I think it was quite relatable because it was New York, and it was you know what New York looks like, you know what the back streets, the grimier parts of it, you know what all that looks like. You didn't have to take yourself to another world to appreciate it.
No. It was like any great horror, any great sci-fi, it was rooted in this world, in this real world. You could identify with it. You could sit there and go, that could easily happen, which just makes it so much better. And less headspace to have to think about it. You can just get into watching the whole thing. So yeah, cracking film. I absolutely love it. Well,
you mentioned and during and just before that you had read the script prior to this. Firstly, tell me a little bit about how the script differs to what you see and the contrasts in it, and also finish on and tell us what you do and just promote yourself basically.
I'll take some of that, thank you very much. In terms of the script, the one I've read, the one that's available, if you go and check out my blog, MJB Creator, it's across all the platforms. On there I'd give a talk about it, just the highs and lows for writers, what to look at. John Carpenter, for any writer out there, read his stuff, all his scripts. Halloween is a masterpiece. This guy knows how to build tension. He knows how to build excitement whenever he writes with anybody. Nick Castle he worked with on Escape from New York. Deborah Hill helped out on Halloween. They know how to build tension. He's excellent at it. So for that, I'd read that. Escape from New York, one of the lesser scripts in terms of build. A lot of work went into Snake Plissken, not so much into the supporting characters. The dialogue's zesty, but it's almost robotic, some of the action directions. You could fill it out a little bit more. But as like any John Carpenter script, as I said, an exercise in rising tension and excitement. Read his stuff, man. It's good. It's solid. You can find it on my blog, where I talk every week about a different script and the pros and cons for writers out there getting started, or just looking for some interesting points about stuff. Yeah, that's me.
Well, you can find JB's blog link in the description below. Please check that out. It is thorough. He leaves nothing unturned. It is well worth a read, and across many genres as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out everything. But I've had a brilliant time here today, man. It's been fantastic. Really enjoyed watching Escape from New York with you. It's a classic, and as usual, this guy knows what he's looking at, man. There
will be more content like this, more watch-alongs, reviews coming up, more rankings and tier lists. Please smash a like below. Please leave comments and tell us what you thought of our review on this movie and any other movies that come out on this channel. Please check out JB's blog, and more importantly, please hit that bell for notifications on more of my videos coming up in the future. Thank you very much, guys. I'm Mitch Cassidy, this is JB, and this has been Primetime Mitch.